The X2 starts its second era this year, filling in size while taking on a sleeker car-like shape. The X2 presently accompanies all-wheel drive as standard hardware and a lift-in pull from the X2's modified power plant, which gives it more disposition than previously. The cost of the 2024 BMW X2 begins at $42,995 and goes up to $52,395, relying upon the trim and choices. The all-new BMW X2 is a special case for the standard that 2 is mutable. In view of a similar stage as the boxier X1, the subcompact X2 is the somewhat less down-to-earth, but sportier-looking rendition of BMW's littlest SUV. The second-age X2 wears an angrier grin and has as many exhaust tips as it does cylinders. Both the 241 HP xDrive 28i and M35i xDrive utilize a turbocharged inline 4-chamber with a double-grasp programmed transmission and all-wheel drive. Yet the M adds muscle with 312 strength, greater brakes, and a higher maximum velocity. It likewise accompanies numerous M-controlled blue, purple, and red decorations that commonly go with BMW's motorsport-filled sub-brand. The xDrive 28i accompanies a lot of standard elements, for example, 19-inch wheels, a Goliath infotainment show, drove headlights, and dynamic vulnerable side location. Yet, the X2's outgoing styling asks for greatest execution, and the M35i trim lifts strength to 312 horses and carries with it significantly racier styling components. Its cost is a lot higher than the base trim, so we'd go light on choices to try not to burn through every last cent. We would, notwithstanding, propose jumping on the M-Game seats, which are enveloped by a blend of calfskin and false softened cowhide. The X2 xDrive 28i is fueled by a 241 HP turbocharged 2.0-litre inline-4 motor darted to a 7-speed double-grip programmed transmission. However, the M35i xDrive is the dragster X2. With updated motor internals and additional lift pressure, the Super 4 produces 312 drive in the M35i. The 2 variants of the X2 come norm with the entire season tyres. However, the M35i xDrive gets bigger, 20-inch wheels. Maximum velocity is restricted to 130 mph for the 2 models while outfitted with the entire season elastic, yet moving up to execution summer, elastic builds the M35i xDrive's maximum velocity to 155 mph. Cornering hold is abundant and the X2's directing is exact, yet it feels weighty and is light on input. In any case, the X2 is enjoyable to drive, particularly in M35i structure. BMW claims the M35i xDrive is great for a send-off to 60 mph in 5.2 seconds. After test driving it in Europe, we figure it can show improvement over that and gauge it will hit 60 mph in 4.4 seconds. We haven't driven the xDrive 28i at this point, however the same X1 model figured out how to hit 60 mph in 5.4 seconds at our test track. We figure the X2 xDrive 28i will offer comparable execution. Within the new X2 looks a ton like the boxier X1's, yet with a touch less headroom and freight space. The plan is current and tech-centered, with a drifting mid-control area partitioning the 2 front seats and brandishing a flip change for a gear selector. An enormous cubby underneath the control center is large enough for a little sack, and a canister at the lower part of the scramble is ideally suited for reserving your cell phone. A remote cell phone charging cushion is situated there in certain models. The M35i wears a racier plan, with accessible game seats that can be enclosed by cowhide or a mix of calfskin and fake calfskin. The back seats can be collapsed in a 40-20-40 split and can oblige up to 51 cubic feet of freight space while collapsed. Remote beginning and warmed front seats in it are both discretionary to direct wheel. Each X2 accompanies BMW's huge bended instrument board show. The 10.3-inch part of the showcase is the check bunch, showing speed and other driving data, while a 10.7-inch sister screen outlines infotainment controls. The framework has a plenty of configurability, ostensibly an excessive number of the needed, yet this gives each X2 remote Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capacity. A remote cell phone charger is standard on the M35i xDrive and accessible with the discretionary comfort gear bundle for the xDrive 28i. A strong Harman Kardon sound framework is accessible as a feature of the top-notch gear bundle, adding more bang during the X2's trunk should your playlist require it. With regards to guarantee inclusion, the X2's strategies are normal. BMW gives 3 years of included booked support, a decent advantage that Mercedes doesn't offer. On the off chance that you're wanting to heap on the miles, you may be ideally serviced by the Lexus NX or the Lincoln Corsair, the two of which offer powertrain security for a considerable length of time, longer than the X2. Restricted guarantee covers 4 years or 50,000 miles. Powertrain guarantee covers 4 years or 50,000 miles. Free upkeep is covered for a very long time or 36,000 miles.